Let's do it really quick
Okay.
here. YouTube.
Yeah, and then that link will be available to you
Awesome, man.
afterwards that you could download. I'll have it so you can download. Okay, let me turn my phone off so it doesn't ring. And we are live. We're broadcasting. We're good
Copy that.
as of right now. So those of you who I'm going to start this now. Those of you guys who are joining me, I want to welcome you to Viper Studios and Unit 3 Live. We have an incredible guest today. He's a good friend of mine. He currently, you see him right there. He is currently on Broadway. Um, Even though Broadway is closed, right? It's
That's
unfortunate.
right.
But this is Angelo Soriano, and we met like a year ago. I think almost literally a year
Uh,
ago
yeah,
this week.
that's right.
and
That's right.
and how much the world has like totally changed, right? We're all like, you know, in our homes or quarantining ourselves, listening to our leaders and stuff like that. But you're looking well. How's Angelica? How's she doing? Keeping busy?
Good. Angelica and I are quarantined inside our Midtown East apartment right now, and we're currently sharing conference room space. And without a door, I can really shut in between us. So I'm on our roof,
That's awesome.
and she is in a conference call with Joffrey Ballet School right now because, as an associate director, they have transferred everything to remote education and doing dance classes online. So she's busy with that while I'm here at work. I mean, at home, kind of just doing my side gig.
You're saying so. Tell our viewing audience because the whole premise behind these quick pods that I'm doing, I want people to get to know who my friends are, right, my friends and family, and my network, and to see how how we all work together, how we celebrate the community together, the entertainment community, in various ways, and and just to encourage people to get out there and to start doing this also just to promote who they know and that kind of stuff so that when we get out of this COVID-19, pandemic era, that we can all maybe even, get together or get in contact with each other and kind of share our resources so that we can do more together as a community versus holding on to things because we may not want to share, because I think it's going to be different. I think things are going to be different once we get out of this,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. It's I met you a year ago because I wanted your help for to create a show, and so I needed your help for media and technology, and that is something that we're lucky to have today. And as far as the internet that lets us stay connected, and as far as my industry on Broadway, I've been in Aladdin on Broadway for 5 years, and as we all know, Broadway's been shut down. So we kind of have developed different ways to keep connected. I still text all my castmates and people in the industry to kind of we have a Facebook group called Broadway Shutdown where we can kind of inform each other on what's going on, how unemployment is going to work,
Yeah.
maybe feed each other some gigs that we may be able to take on. But a lot of my friends and I have been relying on the internet to do live streams and to do chats online to just catch up or maybe perform online. And so we kind of do our best to kind of collectively figure out how to technologically pull off what we've been doing 8 shows a week, reaching a mass audience and trying to keep the art alive and to keep our skills honed and to keep ourselves healthy in the process.
Yeah, no, that's great because prior to this, you guys have been posting like really, really cool stuff, behind the scenes on Aladdin, the musical, and just in like your normal like your personal lives also,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is it's nice to have that kind of like that door into your personal life, into your professional life also. But I think what you guys have been doing backstage is like really cool because you're highlighting a lot of the cast members that are there, and it's just really really cool to again
Hmm.
see things behind the scenes that you would never, I mean, we would never see, and now we can,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know. And so the other thing you just posted was you were doing planks, and you were flying your drone, your competition drone. I forgot what is it? It's a
So I'm in an industry in the RC hobbyist industry called FPV drone racing,
okay,
and so I started a company with a partner of mine who is also in the cast of Aladdin, where we take the technology of 3D printing and we design drone frames that people choose to put their components on. And so we make these custom built micro drones that kind of are the size from about like the palm of your hand
right,
or up to right maybe the size of a dinner plate. And what I was doing was, because I'm also a fitness head, having to stay fit to be a dancer on Broadway, eight
yeah,
shows a week. Um, I can't go to the gym anymore. So one of the things that I did was use social media and my micro drone, which you'll typically see people maybe racing around a household.
right,
I attached an HD camera to it, and I developed an idea to where I would use social media, as we kind of see different challenges that
yeah,
kind of spread around. I used the hashtag FPV plank challenge to create this trend where I could encourage people to fly their drones and stay fit at the same time. So what I did was I performed it while performing a plank.
yep,
I would take the micro drone, put on my goggles, which I can see in real time
right,
through a camera mounted on the drone, and control the drone to fly under my plank and around my head and under my plank and around my head as many as 10 times for per flight. And then kind of just wanted to challenge all my friends to do the same, and to kind of keep saying in
yeah,
these times where we feel like we're just inside and stuck, and
yeah,
not socializing with
not
people
social,
physically. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So I think you're going to create a new Olympic sport, you know. But you have to be fully clothed because it could
No, oh yeah,
could get you in
absolutely.
trouble. I was thinking maybe I could do that also, but I got the DJI, the Phantom 4, and that thing is
Oh,
too
you do?
big. Yeah, so that thing
It's so big.
it would cut me up.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
but
Yeah, yeah.
but I have to say, so Angelo, for you, all of you guys who are watching, Angelo at the event that we did last year, um, I'm here. We were doing audio, we were doing lighting, we brought in a couple other things, and during the actual event, I all of a sudden I see a drone flying around the room. I didn't know who it was, and I turned to my right, and there's Angelo. He had his goggles on, and he's flying this drone. I mean, he's zipping around the venue, and didn't hit anybody. And I have to say, you are really really good. You are like you're Top Gun. You're like Top Gun
Thanks.
quality. I'm telling you, it was so cool to
Thanks.
see that fly. And then, like about a month later, you had posted the video from that event and how you incorporated the photographer's video plus that drone footage. It was awesome, and I really
Hmm.
appreciate that because that narrative obviously was, you and your wife, you had just gotten married. You
Yes.
celebrated your first dance and things like that with your friends, right? Friends of the community and
Absolutely.
and that was and at first I didn't realize what the event was when we were setting it up. Maybe I didn't remember, but then one of my colleagues said, "Chuck, they just got married. This is their reception," or something like that, but I know it was a combination of you bringing in the community, the art and cultural community into your world, and celebrating it with everybody. And I thought that was
Absolutely.
so unbelievably awesome and rich, and so important. So I learned that day that
Hmm.
you can't take these events for granted because you never know what the underlying thing was about it. And yours was multi-tiered. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was it
Awesome.
was part it was part because we had definitely had just gotten married 2 days before,
Yeah.
but because we had all these artist friends that are in the industry and we're working on. We work 8 shows a week, which is 6 days a week. The only days off we have were Mondays. So we wanted to make this party happen on a Sunday night,
Yeah.
which you and your team helped us create this big art festival
Right.
celebrating dancers, musicians, visual artists, and everyone in between,
Yeah, and
and
sculptors
to
also.
put
Yeah,
together this event. So
right.
yeah, and so yeah, like you said, it's important to celebrate those moments with each other, and you never know, if that, when something like this happens, you remember back to those times. You're like, hey,
Yeah,
remember that big party that we did last May? It was amazing.
it was
It was
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And I have to say,
Yeah,
both you and your wife, you guys are incredible dancers. I realize
thanks.
that I can't dance. I mean, I can keep a beat, but but you guys are you have. I mean, she's a ballerina, correct?
Yeah, she's a dance educator and a
Dan-
director,
and a
and
director.
yeah, definitely, and a dancer at heart. So it's
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
to
So
be
it's
able to be with her and share that with her.
right, right. And then you yourself on Aladdin, the musical, you're dancing also on set as well. So you guys are
Hmm.
both, really like I said, in incredible physical condition, but also just very fluid. And you can see that love connection between both you and your wife, but also how you guys dance. And I just thought it was like I
Thank
think
you,
it was magical when that happened. And
thank
then
you.
to see the video that you guys put together, it brought in the like the 20s. What is it called? The 20s, that era into like the black and
Type this
white
like kind of this vaudeville type
broad.
vibe.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, to where there were no rules as to what happened that night. We kind of just put everything that we thought was cool together into
yeah.
one event. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
such a great show, and I really appreciate it. I love the logo also, which is a wolf,
yeah,
right? A wolf looking up to the moon or howling to the moon or something like that.
yes, yes.
Explain a little bit of that so that our guests get to hear a little bit about that.
So my name is Lucky Angelo. So it's actually two first names. So I go by my second first name, Angelo, which is something that I just started to embrace
Hmm.
more recently. The name Lucky that my mom had gave me,
Given to you, yeah,
and we use that to create this logo, Lucky and the Lady, which is a depiction of a crescent moon with the wolf howling in silhouette with the moon.
right,
And it's just a symbol of our love and how she is the moon to my wolf. And it made
fantastic.
for a pretty cool spotlight logo that we shined the entire night on the big wall.
Yeah,
So it
that
was
was
really
so
cool.
cool. It was perfect, right?
Yeah,
That wall, it worked out so nice, so nice.
so cool. Yeah,
Yeah. So the thing is, we were supposed to do another event coming up, and
yeah.
unfortunately, because of the whole COVID-19, not just that, but everything just stopped. And
Mm.
so that's where I was like, you know what, I have to get in contact with everyone and just see how they're doing, and do it as in these quick pods, because I think again, sharing my story with everyone else, and us sharing our kind of history together,
Hmm.
is really important, especially in times where you're isolated, when you're isolated from people and can't really
Yeah.
travel. So,
Yeah,
um,
and so I
yeah,
reached out to you when I had to kind of break to you the news that we weren't going to be able to hold our event. But
yeah.
how's Viper Studios doing in all this, and how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, well, I'm keeping busy. Like my brain always has to keep operating, or I just can't shut it down. It's like I'm very creative, but I'm also technical. But I
Same.
love, we're the same. Like we always just got to keep
We're the
busy.
same, man.
Yeah. So basically, what I've been doing, I came down about little over 2 weeks ago, and the weather has been like in the 80s. So I started growing my garden again. I de-weeded like for 2 days. My muscles were hurting. At first, I was like, oh my god, I got flu symptoms. Maybe I got COVID-19.
Uh-oh.
But I realized you're hyperextending yourself to trying to de-weed. Plus, we had like 88-degree weather, so I didn't want to burn too much because this is the first time the sun's actually out in that
Yeah, it's
that
nice.
range. And
Yeah,
so, but the cool thing is, some of the seeds, like some of the broccoli and the kale seeds, they actually held over from last year, and they planted
nice.
themselves, or they germinated. And when I got down here, there was like 6 different plants already growing, and so I just started picking, and then I started posting things, trying to, being silly, but
I saw that.
just saying, the little bit of the little amount of investment in a garden can yield you a lot of produce, you know. And
Mm.
but of course the conditions have to be right and stuff like that. So I really want to do like a free workshop to just educate people who might not had a chance to even get to start to garden because it's really easy. It's a lot easier than most people think, and
Yeah.
you know, so that's what I'm
which
doing. Yeah.
which one are you most excited to grow?
So I right now I planted like six different lettuces or leaf type greens.
Yeah.
Um, turnip, mustard greens, collard, broccoli, and a
Nice.
few other ones. I just got 2 pounds worth of small little onions, and I planted those today with my son. We got about about 2 pounds, so I don't know, maybe about 100 of these things, and so those just went in. Yesterday we had rain, which is good.
Nice.
So the ground is nice and wet, and the soil is all fresh. But then the other thing was I have like four different beans, bush bean, Kentucky something, and there's two other ones that I planted for just beans. And I'm telling you, we get. I mean, I think we're blessed because we have a longer, maybe 2 more months of warmer weather, and so
Nice.
the
Yeah.
growth cycle is a little bit longer, and we yield quite a bit. And so we usually get like 8-inch green beans. So I'm looking forward to that. And then once plants are being sold, like tomatoes and zucchini and those type of things, and jalapeno, and like last year we had a lot of peppers.
Uh-huh.
The last few years prior, they would never grow, but last year I guess the soil, the pH, everything was just right. But
Sure.
yeah, but the other thing is I always tell people all your scraps, like all your vegetation, like your vegetables, like the ends and stuff like that that you normally just throw away, bag those up. And if you know of a community farm, give it to those people because that can go into their compost. And once that breaks
Compost.
down, I mean, it's the earth giving to us, and then us giving back to the earth, so that
Mm,
cycle continues. And it just works. It's a good thing.
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
You're gonna make a mean salad out of that.
yeah, yeah. Well, I just made the other thing is like a couple years ago when I started making collard greens, I just watched a YouTube video. I was kind of inspired by this black lady down in the Carolinas, and so I don't like the tarty the vinegary type stuff. So I changed it up and I just made it a little bit sweeter. And I turned on a lot of my friends. So when I make a batch, I'm going to hook you guys up once we get out of
That's
this
fun.
thing. But you and your wife, you guys got to taste this because people who normally would not gravitate to collard greens because again, it's kind of bitter. When I make
Hmm.
them, it's more sweet. And the cool thing is, if you dice it down and make it really small and you steam it, and again, in fact, I'll give away my secret and how do I do it. But long story short, then instead of just eating it the way that is, if you like pasta, if you like rice, you can always cook that and then add that to the rice or to the pasta and
Oh.
and just have it as like another meal as opposed to pasta always has to have tomato sauce. It really doesn't. And so
Hmm.
I always like try to change it up because my mom, she was a great cook, and like she was Italian American, and my dad's Lebanese. And so these and with Filipino, right, we had Filipino
Right.
friends that were in Germany, and everyone just loved to cook. So when we all got together, we all got to see how everybody was how everyone's cuisine kind of worked with each other. The Italians to the
Yeah.
Filipinos to this to that, and so that just encouraged me to the moment I was old enough to start cooking. Of course, I burnt things when I first started, but eventually you develop your own techniques, and if you cook well, um, then I always said, listen, start giving it out to some of your friends.
Yeah.
Share it because you can't eat everything.
Yeah. Like a lot of us, I'm sure. Everyone's kind of getting in touch with their culinary sides during this
During this
entire
time.
pandemic because we're all forced to come in, stay inside, and use our ovens and our stoves for once.
For
And
once, right?
I haven't even got myself to order any takeout food or delivery food or anything. I've just been priding myself on, taking this time to
Right.
teach myself how to make more things. I love making Filipino food.
Yeah.
My wife loves that, and
Yeah.
so I show her some of my mom's most prized recipes.
Recipes.
And
Yes.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so and as far as vegetables, I grew up eating a lot of really nice, awesome greens
Yeah.
growing up in the Philippines. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of access to different types of vegetation there. So I
Yeah.
do love it. I love cooking, and I love rediscovering that there's way more to life than takeout.
I know, I know. And the cool thing is, cuisine wise, how we're all like all of our foods are kind of like connected together. Obviously, because
Mm,
we're such a mobile or a we travel, right? But
yeah.
even back 100 years ago, people were still traveling and discovering new territories and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
those things that were over in other parts of parts of the world definitely were able to be transported, and and that's where our culinary cultures are really rich.
Hmm.
Besides eating the hamburger. You could
Yeah.
spice it up. You could add a lot more things to
I'm
it.
literally making hamburgers in my apartment right now. But
That's
do you
awesome.
watch a lot of Netflix food shows?
Um, well, before what it was like Gordon Ramsay and the
Yeah,
Naked Chef and a lot
yeah,
but before they were actually on TV, I was reading their books, and again, it
nice.
was just to get some ideas. But I got to say, Gordon Ramsay is one of my favorites because especially his 10-minute cooking things, because I know we're all busy, maybe not so much now, but when we are busy. Um, if we just go and if we just source this stuff locally and bring it back and actually celebrate the actual cooking, the making of it, I think
Yeah,
more and more people, not to take people away from going out, but I think there's something about cooking your own food and experimenting and sharing it. There's something exciting about that, and I just
I
I,
agree.
I just encourage it. Yes, yeah.
I agree.
So hey, I have to say you have the best backdrop ever. That is
I was
so
just
cool.
looking at that and I was like, this lighting is everything right now.
It's perfect.
Yeah, look
How's
at this, and it's a great day
look
outside.
at that.
Just it's a good day to appreciate
Yeah,
what's happening. So
excellent. How's your now? You have a dog also, right?
yes,
Yeah, how's is a boy or girl? I forget.
so he's a boy.
Okay,
His name is Blackjack. We rescued him last November.
nice.
He has an Instagram at Blackjack or Bust,
Okay,
and he's an Insta dog, and he's one of the only reasons we're really kind of making ourselves walk outside is to walk him. He loves. He's very high energy. We think he's a Chihuahua mix pincher,
okay.
mini pincher. So he's a tiny dog, around 10 pounds right now,
Yeah, yeah,
and so he's definitely keeping us company. And I think I
yeah,
would encourage everyone who's viewing this to maybe consider fostering a dog during these times, because
yeah.
this is the golden age for pets.
That's true. That's I know all types of pets. Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about, I was just talking about this today, was when we go back and people have to go back to their normal grind. I just hope the pets that they don't get neglected. You know,
Yeah.
But I guess that would be good for like dog walker, pet walkers or whatever they call them these days.
Hmm.
Because it's funny to see some of them that are very popular, who have like 15, 20 dogs that they're walking. Maybe they'll end up being like 40 dogs that they'll be.
Yeah.
You know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see that kind of a pet walking culture in the city where, again, people just can't do it themselves because they're so busy. But
It's so
you
busy.
know
Yeah.
but that opens up opportunities for people to get involved and to open up smaller businesses and stuff like that to spend time with pets that their owners are away, and again, it just gives more opportunities for
Yeah.
other businesses to grow, or multiple levels of care, pet care.
Yeah. They definitely deserve
Very
our
cool.
attention as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. So, how can people get a hold of you? What are your handles that you can share with us?
My handle right now is at GELOSAURUS, Jellosaurus. I've had that for a while.
Okay.
I was considering changing it just because of this big birthday I had, but just because, just to
Yeah.
change it up. But yeah, you can find me under Angelo Soriano
Okay.
on Facebook and YouTube as well. So I try to release content, and whatever I'm interested in that day, and
Right.
kind of share videos and songs and whatever I'm up to. Collaborations with friends. I try to do that all the time and
Yeah.
share my talents with the world. So
Excellent. Excellent. Well, listen, I think you should keep it because Jellosaurus, that's such a cool. I mean, there's no other Jellosaurus
thanks.
out there.
Yeah, people call me Jello. That's right. It's from Angelo, right? So
Yeah.
it started from my private dance dance school.
Yeah,
Everyone started calling me that, and then for some reason in the industry, it just caught on. So
that's
it's
cool.
cool.
That's cool. Well, I mean, you could
Yeah,
even spin off like a Jello, like a Lucky Jello Saurus. You know,
yeah, yeah.
why
I
not?
do like Lucky. Yeah, that's another name that I'm considering. So
Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen, it's a beautiful name. You know, your mom,
thanks.
your dad, your folks, they knew. You know, it's like it's interesting how names create certain types of personalities. I think, right? Just
Yeah,
generally,
I think so.
it's really
I
really
think
neat.
so.
So, but the cool thing is, like this is me talking to everybody out there. Definitely, once everything goes back to the new norm, get out there, and I definitely encourage people to go see Aladdin the musical and see
Thank you.
our good friend, now your good friend, uh, Jellosaurus, right? And Angelo,
Yes.
and let's fill those seats. Let's get Broadway humming again, and also, all other profit and nonprofit events, for everywhere, especially around the globe, because everything's been shut down, and that's really really kind of disappointing. But
Yeah,
yeah. So
absolutely. I encourage everyone to find a way to support an artist here and there. A lot of gigs have been cut for musicians and for cabaret artists and for people like us on Broadway who, depend on the mass to for our income, but also, we'd love to perform again in the future for all of you. So come see us when all of this is done, and come say hi at the stage door when you can at Aladdin Broadway. So
yeah,
thanks again.
that'll be awesome. Well, listen, I look forward to seeing you soon, and we'll keep in touch. We'll do this again, like in, let's say, in 2 weeks, because I just want to
Sure.
follow up, and let's see how the state of the union, how we're all doing, and how
Hmm.
and of course, my heart goes out to everybody who is being who's being affected by this. If they're
Hmm.
sick, we hope they get better, and obviously those who have passed, keep them in our prayers and stuff like that. But at the same time, we also have to keep optimistic and keep encouraging people to go on and continue on with their lives, like you're saying, and come back once everything gets back to normal, and not fear. I think that's the main thing, is that we don't get into this fear factor mode where um, I can't sit next to the person on the subway, or
Yeah.
or in the coffee shop, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and something I would backpack off that is to kind of just stay informed and find the credible sources that will help you stay healthy and be informed in the proper way, and stay healthy.
Yeah, excellent,
That's all we can
excellent.
do these days.
Well, listen, brother, good to see you again, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Um,
Thank you for your time. It's always great catching up.
yeah, yeah. Well, now that this will become another new norm also for all of us. So, but we'll be in
Yeah.
touch, and have a great week. Be safe out there. Love to everybody, and looking forward to seeing you guys soon. All right,
Thank you for having me.
excellent, brother. Okay, we'll see you soon. Have a good day.
Good day.
Thanks, brother.
Bye.
You got it. Excellent. So that's my good friend Angelo Soriano. Again, he is one of the just one of the cast members from Aladdin the musical, and you got to go see it, because it is. I mean, it's a fantastic show. Of course, it's a Disney property, or license, and but the cast is really really cool, and they love what they do, and of course, like Angelo said, they just want to get back and start performing for the international audience that does. Um, Taken, patron the Broadway and other plays that are out there. So thanks again for joining me. This is Chuck again from Viper Studios and Unit 3 Live. We look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Stay tuned. We have from Knoxville, Tennessee, we have Red Dot Music. She's a singer-songwriter and a teacher, and she does a few other things, but we're going to have her on at 3 o'clock. I think at the 3:30 hour, and you definitely want to stay tuned for that, because she has an angelic voice, and she's such a sweet person. You're going to love to see and hear this interview also. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Bye.